Good afternoon. I'm professional sports handicapper Ross Benjamin. It's Thursday, January 23rd. Time for another edition of my college basketball free picks. I have three free picks in college basketball on Thursday. Before we get to those, let's recap what happened yesterday. College basketball free picks on this YouTube channel have gone 2-1 yesterday, and my winners were on Rutgers plus 5.5 inside the number, and a 5-point loss at Iowa. That was a game Rutgers had a 1-point lead with 2 minutes to play on the road. In any event, they lost the game, but they still remained inside the number. And it's nice to get one of those wins where you win by a half a point instead of losing by a half a point. Those all even out over the long haul. And also, I had Loyola of Chicago minus 7.5 at home against Indiana State, and the Ramblers easily won that game by 20. And my loser, no excuses, Michigan was terrible in their loss at home to Penn State on Wednesday. A 9-point loss as a 5-point favorite. That's a game that Penn State pretty much controlled from start to finish. In any event, we went 2-1. We'll take that every day, any day going forward. Also, my paid selections at my website. Write this down, folks. rbwins.com. That's rbwins.com. That's my personal website. You can also access it by going to rossbenjaminsports.com. Yesterday, I had one college basketball selection, and I went with an under-the-radar game as I took North Dakota State and South Dakota State to go over the total of 141.5, and that game easily won as the final score in that contest was 78-73. That now makes my college basketball 10-star top plays dating back to last season 42-25. That's good for 63% with my last 67 college basketball 10-star top plays. Not bad, folks. That's rbwins.com, where you pay a little to make a lot. Let's get right to the free selections for today. Drexel at Northeastern, 7 p.m. Eastern Time start. We're going to focus on a total here, which is 140. Northeastern has gone over the total in 5 of their last 6 games, including each of their previous 3. Those 3 games averaged a combined score of 150.3. So, some high-scoring games there for Northeastern lately. Their defense has been really lacking over their last 5 games. The Huskies have allowed opponents to shoot 51% and 38.3% from beyond the three-point line during that 5-game span. On a positive note, Northeastern has shot the ball really well at home, converting on 48.3% of their field goal attempts, 42.3% of their three-point attempts, and a stellar 82.6% of their free throws at home. This is a Drexel team that's usually known for their defense and slowing it down a bit, but over their last 5 games, they've averaged just a shade under 72 points per contest and have also converted on 37% of their three-point attempts. Drexel 3-1 over the total in their last 4 true road games, and those 4 contests average a combined score of 149.5. I like Drexel and Northeastern to go over the total of 140. The Minnesota Golden Gophers travel to Columbus this evening to take on the Ohio State Buckeyes. 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time start. Right now, as we speak, Ohio State is an 8-point home favorite in this contest. Ohio State has really struggled of late. However, they still remain very good at home. The Buckeyes on their home floor are 10-1 straight up and 8-3 against the spread. Their only loss coming in a narrow loss to Wisconsin. And they're also going to be out to revenge a December loss at Minnesota, a game in which they were defeated 84-71. Speaking of Minnesota, they've gone 0-6 straight up in their last 6 true road games this season. I like Ohio State -8 on their home floor over Minnesota. Finally, BYU at Pacific. BYU right now is a 6-point road favorite. This is a BYU team coming off a 20-plus point loss at number 2 Gonzaga in the previous game. As a matter of fact, BYU has now lost 4 consecutive true road games this season. Pacific is coming off an 84-80 loss at Santa Clara, and it's a pretty good Santa Clara team, pretty good mid-major, I should say. And Pacific this season in lined games in which there was a line, they've gone 4-0 straight up in ATS this season, following a game in which they lost. So again, it applies here. Pacific with some bounce back capabilities here against a BYU team that hasn't fared real well on the road of late. And I'm going to go with Pacific here as a 6-point home underdog over BYU. Repeating again, Drexel Northeastern over 140, Ohio State -8 at home against Minnesota. Pacific is a 6-point home underdog over BYU. Those are my Thursday, January 23rd college basketball free picks. Good luck with all your selections.